know everything. Ryan knows some things. We're gonna speak to each other. So I guess first race recap. It was Texas, God-forsaken Texas.
The truck that got carpet bombed, you know.
In Connor Hudson's video, it became exploded. So it is no longer a thing. So Bubba Wallace. No, what were you saying?
It's such a very boring track for most people. I thought it was all right.
I think it was okay. I think they need to do like one of two things. I think they either need to make it like less aero sensitive, or they need to make it easier to pass. It needs to be like one or the other. I feel like
it's such a slippery track.
Yeah, I feel like because anytime you try to pass someone, there's about an 82% chance you end up in the catch fence. So I feel like that has to be something fixed. So
with like the 2 grooves.
Yeah, it needs to be a multi-groove racetrack. I don't know how they do that because I'm not a scientist, but they need to do that. So Bubba Wallace sat on the pole, which was the whole thing.
How?
My thoughts exactly, but he obviously had that dog in him. Ran well. Obviously came up a little short. Feel like that last caution really screwed him, and Chase Briscoe existing was obviously a big issue as well. Really held up the middle lane there and at the end and let Byron get to him, and obviously Byron being on new tires just flew by him, and I think Bubba tried to side draft him for a second, but it was obviously
he whiffed it like at the end, like he always does. It seems.
Yeah, he kind of threw it away, which was sad, but So first 40. Well, let's do news first. So last week, AM Racing announced that not only that Brett Moffitt will be the driver for the 2024 season, they also announced that he will have a teammate next year. First time in many years that AM Racing has fielded 2 entries. First time for the XFINITY car in general. They haven't fielded a second truck in quite some time. They don't field a full-time truck anymore. We are not sure of the number or who the driver is going to be, but he will have a full-time teammate next year. Not really sure. I would say, from what I'm reading, I feel like Haley Deegan's the top candidate. I also wouldn't be surprised if Ty Majeski went to the seat. There's not a lot of guys in the Ford pipeline right now, especially with Zane Smith off to Chevy, as we learned last week.
Isn't Moffitt going to race trucks at Talladega?
This week, yes. It was also announced that Moffitt will be in a second front row motorsports truck at Talladega. So Zane Smith's going to have a little help. First time ever that...
Number 34.
Yeah, that front row was fielded a second truck. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, front row very strong on the super speedways. Zane Smith has won the Daytona truck race in that truck for 2 years in a row. Both years that he's been in that truck, he's won that race. Obviously won in his first start for the team in 2022. Well, later went on to win the championship, so I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Brett Moffitt's a really good race car driver. I think he's going to do well. I think it'll be cool to see Zane out there with some teammates.
I hope he does well. I like him.
Yeah,
he's got spunk.
And he's got a cool mustache.
Mustache, man, just like my father.
We love Ryan's father, who's also Brett Moffitt. And other Ryan's uncle, who looks just like Brett Moffitt. Shout out Ryan Amell and your uncle, if you're out there watching. He does look like Brett Moffitt, I agree.
Didn't Trackhouse sign Zane Smith?
Yes, that was a last week deal. Zane Smith going to the question mark numbered car for Trackhouse, or for Spire in the Cup Series next year. He's signed to the Trackhouse development program. He'll race for Spire next year, but Spire now has manufacturer support from Trackhouse, which I think is good for them.
Hopefully they can do something with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have too high expectations, but I think...
He is just a truck driver.
Yeah, and it's Spire, but I think the Technical Alliance is going to help. But I think he's definitely ready to make the jump.
I enjoy the shakeup that Trackhouse has been doing with like the big teams and all that.
Yeah, I think they're really taking the fight to the bigger powerhouses, and I think Ross Chastain's comeback run yesterday really signifies that. For anyone here from the future, this is Monday, by the way, September 25th, that we're recording this. You might not see it until Christmas, but I just want you all to know that it is September 25th, and Ryan's birthday is tomorrow. He turns 43 years old.
816, man.
Yes,
My
sir.
back hurts.
He's on that shit. Also in news, well, really it's just news for today. Brett having a teammate was the only big news from last week, I think, that we learned. But today, we learned that Chandler Smith will be in the Rackley truck, the 25 truck at Talladega next week. Obviously, last week, Matt DiBenedetto announced that he would not be returning to the truck next year, despite making the playoffs for the first time with that team and winning a race for the first time with that team last year. However, Rackley War got very upset with this, I presume, and fired him. So that truck does not have a driver for the last 3 races of the season. Obviously, those races being Talladega, Martinsville, and then the championship race at Phoenix. But it was announced that Chandler Smith will be driving the truck at Talladega. Chandler, not known to be an extraordinary super speedway racer, did okay with KBM. I would have to look and see where he actually ran in the Talladega race for KBM last year.
Kyle has an interview later tonight.
What does it say what he's talking about?
It says one-on-one with Kyle Busch. What it's like seeing former team at the track.
Huh. Interesting.
It's on the NASCAR website and all that.
So obviously Kyle Busch is gonna talk some shit to Joe Gibbs later. Chandler Smith in the truck race. Not XFINITY.
It's Brexton's future in racing.
Ah,
His little kid.
that'll be good. That'll be a fun interview.
And then Rick Hendrick was wearing his big hat last night.
Yes! Mr. H had his big 300 hat.
Dude, he was so excited. He's like, "Oh, I'm geriatric,
yes,
but I've got money."
So, Chandler Smith started outside pole at Talladega in that race last year in the iBuyPower truck, led 17 laps, finished 14th. He started second 6 races in a row. Obviously, Homestead, where he qualified 4th, broke that up, and then he had a 5th place start at Kansas in the middle there. So, outside pole champion.
I was surprised to see Chastain and Allmendinger in 5 and 6 on pole this weekend.
Yes, Allmendinger started 6th, which is insane because it's Texas and it's AJ Allmendinger.
And he can't stop lifting everything.
Yeah, and Chastain started...
He was 5th, I believe.
I'll have to look. Yes, Chastain started 5th, went all the way to the back, had an issue.
Then he came back.
Then he came back and finished 2nd, almost was able to take the fight to Willie B there at the end. Started pretty I think those cautions really helped him. Both Trackhouse cars finished top 10. Suarez spun on pit road, but bringing out a caution and came back to finish 8th.
I like Suarez. And of course, my one and only true savior, Ricky Stenhouse. He got 9th. That's a great spot for him.
Yeah, man. Stenhouse finished 9th after starting 24th. That was his, I believe, I would have to look at the stats, his 9th top 10 of the season. So obviously a career year for him, matching his season high top 10s. Obviously, his best statistical year was 2017, where he won 2 races, 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and sat on the pole at Talladega, where he won the race for his first.
Very quietly, Harvick got 6th and Denny got 5th.
Yeah, Harvick came back and finished 6th after being mired back in the pack all day. Stewart Haas Racing in general came from out of nowhere to put 3 other cars in the top 10 there at the end. Obviously, Ryan Preece fell like a rock, and Briscoe restarted 2nd, but got punted back to 10th when it was all said and done. But coming from 31st to finish 10th is still good. I guess in terms of a race recap, we were green until lap 43 when Austin Dillon lost a tire after green flag pit stops. We saw the wheel nut rolling down the track as they didn't get the wheel tight.
Then, literally right after that caution ended, Almirola turned Bowman on lap 49.
Hocevar shoved it in 3 wide and did what he did best and caused an accident. And I have that in my notes as Hocevar. So
accurate. Your best friend.
My best friend, went to high school with him. So we saw him punt Almirola into Bowman, and that was an accident. Then we saw Todd Gilliland on lap
wheel
54.
go.
Yeah, lost another wheel. So maybe the Goodyear Texas tire issues returning. Hold on, I have a Facebook message. I need to see if this is this guy. He says
he's got a guitar to sell.
At 4:11, he says, I'm out of work. I'm going to head over to get the case, so probably within 45 or 50 minutes.
There you go.
So he'll be here at like the top of the hour.
Top of the morning.
Okay, I'll expect you. Yeah, I have a guitar case, so. Not in my fake taxi shirt. I'm going to put a hoodie on.
No, in your fake taxi shirt. No pants.
It'll help make the sale.
Then on lap 75, Busch crashed, and you quoted Cars and said, "Hey, look, I'm the world's best backwards driver."
Yes, expressing his frustration by driving backwards like he did earlier this year at whatever track it was.
Best backwards. Dude, I bet he could win the race going backwards. You know, if his car was geared to go that fast.
He is the GOAT.
I mean.
And then we had an incident on pit road where Ty Gibbs just kind of demolished his teammate for some reason. Not really.
Absolutely slammed him.
Yeah.
And then sent Gibbs out of the race.
Yeah, it retired Gibbs, actually, which was surprising, but he must have busted a toe link or something. Denny came back to finish 5th, and you would wonder if he didn't have that damage, if he maybe could have went back-to-back and won the race and punched his ticket to the round of 8. But
that would good chance to that, but we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. I believe Denny actually is, well, you would have to look at what I sent you, because I have my Discord full screen. You'd have to look at the points I sent you. And I believe Denny is the highest-seeded driver without a win behind William Byron, who was your eventual race winner. For
Hamlin's got plus 37.
So 37 points to the good. Talladega, one of his best tracks coming up. And at the Roval, he's never been flashy, but he'll do okay. I'm sure Hamlin will. Unless something detrimental happens, I'm pretty sure he'll make the next round. Then we had a 1-lap shootout to end stage 1, where Bubba gave up the lead to pit for tires, and
he decided that was a bad idea later on.
Yes, to quote Bubba, he said it was to put himself in position to win the race. However, he did neither win the race or the stage. And with the amount of cautions that we saw, I don't think it was really something he would have had to do anyway to win the race. If I was him, only being that many points out, especially with Kyle Busch wrecking, getting closer to the cut line that way, I
would have stayed out.
I would have stayed out and won the stage, but that's just me. Obviously, he gets paid a lot more money than I do. So.
I mean, he's still down 2 points, but we have 2 more races left in the round of 12, so you can make it up.
Exactly. Talladega's coming up, and he's got a win there in this race. He's won there before. Obviously, it was a rain-shortened victory, but Bubba is known for being really good at the super speedways. And he's been a road course stage point warrior this year. And even though, to quote him in 2020, said that he needed road course school, looks like he got it, because he has been pretty good on the road courses this year. And that's a It's good news for the Toyota organization, the Toyota camp in general, as they really struggled on the road courses last year. I mean, Gibbs, there was a time early in the year when Gibbs struggled to put a car in the top 25 on the road courses. So, obviously they fixed that with Bubba's teammate, Tyler Reddick, winning COTA. And so, obviously, they've gotten their road course situation worked out. So Bubba finished third. Good points day, especially with an 8 wreck and a Blaney crashed. So
honestly, I didn't know if he was going to get back up there that way. Like middle of the race, he was just getting shuffled back.
Yeah, it seemed like they really kind of turned they really kind of geared the car up for later in the day as the sun started going down. So as we got kind of to the middle of the day and as sunset came on, it seemed like the car was kind of going away from him a little bit, as you said, Ryan. So, yeah.
We had a Truex. Jones spinned him on lap 81.
Yep, I have that in my notes as well. So coming to the end of stage 2, Jones ARCA braked, and less Dallas v everybody, more Jones v everybody, as he ran into the back of Truex after the green and white checker came out to spin him at the end of the stage. However, I believe Truex still scored stage points, as it happened after the flag, and of course he got to retain his position, I believe. So, we also saw
LaJoy spin.
Yeah,
just spin on 111.
Yeah, LaJoy spin on lap 111. I believe he just got up in the marbles and got it turned around there. He didn't collect anybody else. Single car spin. So
I wrote that the damage looked like a shark bite. The whole front bumper was just
yeah,
ripped off.
That was the one where he pounded the quarter panel and it ripped the whole wheel well out of it. But according to LaJoy did continue running, albeit 5 laps down, and he was the last car running. So he was able to come back and finish 26th.
Hey, it's still money for him, so it makes sense to stay out.
Yeah. Just as he is fighting for that 25th place position in points, which puts him, I don't know, because Racing Reference only takes it back to 20th. So, if he retained this.
The world doesn't know anymore. It's gone.
Exactly. On lap 210, we got a caution during green flag pit stops. As Daniel Suarez spun out on pit road, blew his right rear tire and got stuck in the grass. Obviously, NASCAR didn't know if he was going to be able to get it rolling. He did eventually. After the caution.
I think during that, I had to step away because there was a wasp nest in my wall.
Yes.
Yay, big.
Ryan was getting new windows, and his wall was insulated with wasps. So,
great insulation.
Were you back for the Kyle Larson wreck?
Oh.
When Bubba and him restarted?
Yeah. I was really hyped on that, yeah. I remember I was like, oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. So, Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson on the restart, obviously door-to-door, trying to side draft each other. And as a result, we saw one of the flaws of Texas Motor Speedway take place as Bubba didn't make contact with the 5, but took the air off him and turned him around and
slammed to the wall and he's out of the race.
Yeah, Larson backed into the wall and obviously ended his day, taking him out of contention to punch his ticket to the round of 8 and score Hendrick Motorsports' 300th win. They tried. But
he's still positive too.
Yeah, he's still 2 to the good, but obviously lost a lot of points as he was well above the cut line before that with 3 wins on the season, and the All-Star race obviously doesn't count for playoff points, but 15 playoff points with his wins, so his points paying wins. So that's obviously helping him from not being detrimentally below the cut line. And however many stage wins he has, I don't know that off the top of my head. So after the damaged vehicle clock expired on Larson, he was regulated to a 31st place finish. J.J. Yaley died at some point. I don't remember how that happened.
Who knows when?
But, oh, that was when he spun down and pounded the inside wall on the backstretch, I think, when he just got loose and went around. And then on lap 257, as Bubba Wallace was starting to pull away for the win, my guy Eric Jones pitted after Larson crashed. Running P2 came to get some tires. And then on lap 257, we saw the big one at Texas Motor Speedway. Problems for Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, AJ Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, and Carson Hocevar, as Jones and Reddick drifted up into the wall and caused a massive accident that caused issues for two playoff drivers, the 12 of Ryan Blaney and the 45 of Tyler Reddick, putting them below the cut line going into Talladega, where obviously anything can happen. Reddick obviously not known as being a great superspeedway racer, whereas Blaney has multiple wins at Talladega. We'll have to see how that shakes out.
It's unfortunate for Eric Jones because that was a nice scheme, and you were hoping you would get better points for that diecast.
Yeah, hopefully it still meets MOQ, but I pre-ordered the Elite and the regular. That beautiful Dallas v. Everybody car, a collaboration with the city of Dallas and the clothing brand Detroit versus Everybody, obviously meant a lot to me, as Jones and myself are both Michigan natives. So, and Jones running without Chevy support, as Chevrolet pulled the plug earlier this year, as Legacy Motor Club announced that they were going to be going to Toyota next year. Obviously, Chevy scaled back their manufacturer support, knowing that it was not a good investment to continue supporting them, as they were going to lose the team next year. Was running second all day, most of the day, without manufacturer support, so I was really hoping Jonesy could pull one off there. I think if he just could have cleared Larson there, he could have probably drove away, just because it is so hard to pass. So we were left with a 6-lap shootout to end the race, where Briscoe and Brian Preece and Kevin Harvick, all the SHR cars, ended up front. And slowed a lot of guys down, so Wallace on the restart could not clear Briscoe as quickly as he needed to, and unfortunately let the 24 of William Byron split them both. Wallace wasn't able to keep the pedal down and side draft Byron to pull him back, and the 24 of William Byron on fresh tires, he was part of that group that pitted with Eric Jones on that one caution, pitted for fresh tires, finally worked his way back up to the front and drove by Bubba for the win. Ross, who was also on fresh tires, came back from deep in the pack after a fuel sensor issue to finish second. Bubba Wallace, who led a race-high 111 laps to Kyle Larson's 99, finished third, unfortunately, but still only 2 points out. Good points day. Christopher
Might
Bell.
be Hested.
Yeah. Christopher Bell finished fourth, and Denny Hamlin rounded out your top five. Kevin Harvick from 22nd to 6th. Brad Keselowski finished 7th. Daniel Suarez finished 8th. Ricky Stenhouse, as we mentioned earlier, finished 9th. And Chase Briscoe rounding out your final top 10 spot. Which leaves your point standings looking as... Ryan will have to read that because I have Discord up on my screen. So
Byron's got his win now, so he's locked in. Hamlin's plus 37. Buescher's plus 22. Bell, as much as I don't think he deserves to be in playoffs, is plus 20. Truex is plus 19. Chastain is plus 12. Keselowski is plus 8. Larson is plus 2. Wallace is down 2. Reddick is down 3. Blaney is down 11. And Busch is down 17. But having all those down one, the ones that are below the cutoff line, they're pretty close together, and anything could happen in these next two races.
So, speaking of the next two races, we go to Talladega next week. Who is your pick to win Talladega?
You know, there's a lot of good super speedway drivers right now, and these longer ones. I mean, Hamlin's a good choice. He races well.
Busch, he does 500s, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good chance, and honestly, he's gonna be probably up in the top area.
Won this race 2 years ago. Beat Matt
Yeah.
Benedetto for it in 2021.
Just because I like Busch and I want him to be in the championship, I hope it's him. But, you know.
Busch is also
We'll
your
see how that
defending winner at Talladega,
Yep,
so looking
yep.
for the sweep as he looks to bounce back and have a good points day and lock himself into the round of 8. Probably doesn't deserve to be out right now, but so Busch looking to sweep.
We'll see how it goes. Honestly, most of the playoff drivers have a good chance there.
But it could also be a non-playoff driver.
Yeah, it could just be. It could be somebody else. I don't know. You could get Elliott winning.
True. Even Stenhouse could win again.
Dude, he's fast.
So
No one saw him winning earlier, but you know.
Yeah, he won the Daytona 500 and was only 12 points out to make it into the round of 12. So
I was hoping, but yeah, it's how it goes.
So
in my heart of hearts, I hope he won the championship.
Yes,
but you know that's not gonna happen.
Inbound, baby, yeah. So I feel like at this point you just gotta flip a coin and pick somebody. Talladega is so unpredictable. I will let you pick first, though.
I'm just gonna hope it's Busch because I want to see him into the championship. Yeah.
Okay, so Ryan's taking Kyle Busch. I think I will actually take Ryan Blaney. I think he's really good at Talladega, and I think now that he's below the cut line, I think he's got a fire under his ass right now, and I think in his 301st start, Ryan Blaney will pick up his... Not me opening the tab in Racing Reference.
His number win.
His number 9th career win in his 301st start and punches ticket to the round of 8. As he... Yeah. So now we move on to... Obviously the next 2 races are very unpredictable. A super speedway and a road course where anything can happen. This obviously is the biggest wildcard round in the playoffs, I think, by design. So, looking at the points in front of you, I know it's hard to predict right now, but who are your 4 out in the round of 12? Obviously, anything can happen with a super speedway and a road course ahead of us, but if your 4 out, not transferring to the round of 8, are...
I think...
No pressure, no rush.
Wallace, Keselowski, Reddick, and you know, I have a feeling, even though Ross is good at road courses, I feel like something bad's gonna happen to him. I just got a gut feeling, so I feel like he might drop out, and then Blaney and Busch are gonna, I would say, probably get a little bit better. But Busch could just drop out because he is down 17.
Yeah, if Busch DNFs at Talladega and goes into the Roval with a must-win, a track where he's never been fantastic and Childress hasn't been fantastic, I could see Busch needs to have a strong run at Talladega.
Yeah, he needs to drive his ass off, and that is effectively his only hope at really getting there.
Yeah. So, I
feel like Larson's good enough to stay in, and Truex, Bell, Busch, or Hamlin.
So your 4 out are Keselowski, Bubba, Chastain, and
Reddick.
Reddick, yes. So my 4 out last week when I guest started on the white flag was actually Bubba, Larson, who else did I have out? Bubba, Larson, Blaney, and
He's thinking.
Dude, I'm trying to remember who my... Bubba, Larson, Blaney, and I know I had Reddick advancing. Still have Larson out. This is tough. Bell's
a hard choice.
Bell's plus how many?
Bell plus 20. I think he's solidly in. Unless he massively f***s up somehow.
DNFs at Talladega, which is a solid option. I mean, Bell's not a great super speedway racer. The thing is, I think Bubba and Kyle and Ross advance. And Blaney being in, and Blaney winning Talladega, I would say punches his ticket. But Blaney's had really bad luck at the super speedways. But I said he wins, so he has to advance. So I have... I don't know.
He did. Bell did call Burger King on lap 114.
This is
I don't know what
true.
the that meant.
We still don't know what that means. They never covered the pit stop and told us what Burger King actually meant. So we'll never know. We'll never know
It's
the
secret
secrets.
code for Burger King.
Maybe it means BK Racing's coming back, guys.
Maybe.
LMC is gonna be the new BK Racing. And so I'm gonna say Kyle Busch exits. Unfortunately, I would say Busch.
Realistically, it's probably gonna happen.
It's just such a big hole now, and with Talladega and the Roval up, I think he needed a good run here to maintain a points cushion. I don't think it happens.
He's gonna need to get a win, otherwise I don't really see it happening.
Yeah, he's gonna need to get a win, or he's gonna have other people have issues.
Yeah.
Which he could sweep Talladega, who knows? So I have Busch out, I have Larson out still. I have...
Do you still think Chastain's gonna get out?
He's to the good, how much?
He's plus 12.
If he DNFs at Talladega, he's out. But I think with how strong he runs at the super speedways, especially in Trackhouse equipment, having won our Talladega race with the team, it's so hard. I think Chastain's going to be on the bubble. I think he could go either way.
And to quote Kyle Busch, but more into effect towards Chastain's pit crew, they do nothing for me.
Yeah, Chastain does have a really bad pit crew. And at the Roval, that's going to hurt him. So I would say Busch, Larson. Keselowski's plus how many?
Keselowski is plus 8. He's easy to go in or out.
I would say Bubba probably misses. And then I would say the bubbles, it's probably going to come down to Chastain and Larson. Or no, Chastain and Keselowski, excuse me. And then I would say maybe Chastain's going to be on the losing end just because of Brad's experience. And Brad's so good at super speedways. I mean, 7 wins at Talladega.
It's his thing. That's why I do think he's going to move on. Much as I'm not excited for that.
Didn't you say he was going to exit, though?
No, I said he's got the speed to go.
Okay. So your exits were...
Reddick, Wallace, Keselowski, Chastain.
So you have Chastain out. So you have Keselowski out.
Yeah. No, sorry. I thought you were talking about Larson.
So you have Larson out or in?
No, Larson's in.
So Keselowski's out. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We're good. So moving on to Xfinity. Xfinity.
We had Sam Mayer going out first lap.
Yeah.
He didn't even make it one lap. He just immediately died.
We don't need to recap Xfinity. They have a bye week next week. They don't do the Talladega playoff race this year. So we're actually going to trucks, which I didn't pull up points for. Hold on.
In Xfinity, we had Nemechek winning.
Yeah, so he's
Kligerman getting second.
We can talk about Xfinity next week when they are getting prepared to go to the Roval. Why am I on Instagram? Not women. I'm looking for Toby Christie's page to see if he's posted truck points after Bristol.
Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Carson Hosevar, Grant Infinger. They're in the top 4.
Yes, and then Smith, Rhodes, Sanchez, and Majeski are on the verge of elimination.
I don't know if any of those 4 can really make it back. They're all pretty down.
I don't think
Smith has a chance.
Yeah, I don't think Sanchez transfers. The interesting thing about Talladega is that it's a round of 8 race for the Truck Series.
Yeah.
So it punches your ticket to the championship 4, which is insane to think about. So I would say Heim goes championship 4. I say Enfinger goes. I say Hosevar
unfortunately
goes unless I don't know, man. He's been really shitty at Talladega.
But he is
plus 18.
Only behind 12 versus like Smith being behind 30, Rhodes being behind 35, and Majeski and Sanchez being behind 38.
I don't think Majeski makes it at this point. I don't think Sanchez makes it just because he's a rookie. I don't think Rhodes makes it, so he's out for me. I would say, because right now it's Smith minus 14, Rhodes minus 19, and then Sanchez and Majeski minus 22. Eckes 29 to the good, Hocevar 18 to the good, Enfinger 14 to the good, Heim locked on a win. I didn't think Eckes would make it, but being 29 to the good, I mean, I think if he keeps his nose clean at Talladega, I don't see why he doesn't transfer.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard for Zane to really get in, and if he does, it's going to be through a win or something.
I think Hocevar DNFs at Talladega, and I think Zane makes it. So I think your final four is going to be Heim, Eckes, Smith, and Enfinger.
I mean, we did see at the Cup this weekend, he saw it with like 46 to go. Hocevar just slams into the wall and ruins everything for himself.
Yeah. Zane also had issues in the Cup race, though. But, you know, Zane's won at Martinsville. He won that race 2 years ago to punch his ticket to the championship 4. He's also, you know, in his 3 full-time truck seasons, he has points finishes of second, and first. He was the champion last year, so I don't see why he doesn't clutch up again. I think he goes instead of Hocevar. I think the inexperience gets to Hocevar at Talladega. He DNFs, and so I think your 4 out are going to be Majeski, Sanchez, Rhodes, and Hocevar. Your 4 out for the Truck Series. Pick your championship 4. Heim obviously has to go.
Yeah, Heim goes, and I don't think Eckes. I feel like Hocevar is going to stay in, and Enfinger's going out, and Smith's going to get in.
So you have Eckes going.
Yeah.
So Eckes, Smith, and Hocevar.
Yeah.
Major championship 4. So out, you have Majeski, Sanchez, Rhodes, and Enfinger.
Just to get it a little different.
Okay.
Can't all be the same, you know?
And your pick to win the truck race this weekend is...
Talladega.
It goes against my bracket, but Nick Sanchez is my pick. Sticking with it.
Yeah. You know, because I like Brett Moffitt. I wanted to win, but you know.
Oh yeah, he's going to be in that 34. He would be a good dark horse pick, actually.
I do really like Moffitt, but he doesn't win that often.
I think it increases Zane's odds though of transferring, having a teammate at a track where he's so good, though, in my opinion.
Let's see. Racing reference, the best thing.
Yeah. I know this guy's going to text me and just be like, I'm here. And I'm going to be like, well, I have pajamas on.
That's Cup. I don't care about Cup at this particular moment.
Your defending winner in the Truck Series at that
track
is Matt DiBenedetto.
Fogelman.
Dave Fogelman, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he won the 21.
When you wrecked John Nemechek for it. That's so insane.
It's hard to really...
Yeah, I mean, Talladega's
DiBenedetto is doing good this year.
He's not going to be in the car this weekend. It's going to be Chandler Smith. He got fired.
Yeah. I'm going to say Friesen, because I think he's got spunk.
Friesen, Talladega win? Okay, I dig it. Missed the playoffs. A little bit of a revenge tour. So I think that wraps it up. We're going to cover Xfinity next week, because they don't race this weekend. So after Talladega, we'll do our bracket predictions going into... Well, actually, let's not predict a winner, but let's do a bracket prediction. Because we would have done that at the beginning of the round, which we did not, because... That was last week. So my 4 out for Xfinity, I think, are Hemrick, Burton, Barry, and Mayer. So I think switch Kligerman with Hemrick. Kligerman makes it over Hemrick, and then all the guys that are below the cut line stay out. Going into the...
Yeah. Oh. I don't think Burton, Barry, or Mayer are getting in.
I mean, keep in mind, it's just the Roval.
Yeah, it's just the Roval.
One race left in the thing. I mean, Creed's not entirely safe. He's only
Yeah, he
plus
really
9.
isn't. And he has this habit of throwing things from my
Yeah,
eyes.
and he has a habit of throwing races and his car at other racers. So, but even
I
if,
think
yeah, I
I
mean,
think he's gonna forget that he's in the playoffs and do some dumb and then Kligerman's gonna get in.
so you have
Yeah.
Kligerman and Hemrick making it, Creed out.
Yeah.
So you have my bracket, except you have Creed it out instead of Hemrick. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And your Roval winner pick is, just so we don't have to do it next week.
Who's gonna be racing next week?
I got John Hunter Nemechek.
Nemechek's good. He's dominating this year.
Yeah, 7
really
wins
well.
on the season. I don't think we see a non-playoff winner, and I think in terms of road courses, AJ's not going to be in the race. I don't know who's going to be in the 11 car. We don't know who's going to be in the 11 car for the Roval. Remember, it can't be AJ Allmendinger because full-time Cup Series drivers cannot compete in Xfinity playoff races. So AJ Allmendinger, who is undefeated at the Roval, he has won every Xfinity Roval race since the series has been going there, will not be able to be in the car this weekend to go for 5 in a row undefeated, so he will lose that. So, not knowing who's going to be in the 11 car, I feel like John Hunter Nemechek probably has the best odds of winning that race. I don't think we see a non-playoff winner.
I think Kligerman has a good chance to win it.
That is true. Kligerman's really good on road courses. So you have Kligerman advancing off a win.
I could be. I don't know.
Sammy Smith's somewhat proficient at road course. You gotta remember
Cole Custer's not bad.
Cole Custer's 2 wins this year are on road courses, granted one of which only ran 12 laps.
But it's still a win, hey!
And we got to see him win in person at Portland.
Yeah, much to my behest.
Yeah, likewise.
I was like, come on, Creed. I love that guy. I think, I want to say Kligerman's going to win because I like that. I like that chance.
I like his odds too, but I will take John Nemechek.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, alrighty. I think that does it. That wasn't bad. That was only 44 minutes. That's not a lot to edit, so.
Not a lot really happened other than
no,
it was so hot at Texas.
Yeah, it was the that's another thing. It was the hottest Texas race in history.
At the start before they even got going.
Degrees, yeah.
116 before they started racing in the car. That's insane.
And then it got hot in the cars because the engines were running. I think it got up to like upwards of 140 degrees in the car. It was the hottest Texas race in history since they've been coming to the track in 1996, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember who, but somebody's cool suit failed. Oh gosh.
I know Sammy Smith's did in the Xfinity race.
Yeah, but no, it was in the Cup race. They talked about it. Somebody's cool suit died, and I could not imagine being in that hot of a environment. No cool suit. No. I would simply melt.
I'm looking to see when the first Texas race was. 97. So yeah, hottest race in 25 years in the 25-year history of Texas Motor Speedway. And yeah, I don't remember whose cool suit failed.
Yeah, and there was another thing that was loosely referenced. It's like, my driver normally either gets AC or a cool suit, but I give him both because it was really hot this weekend. I don't remember who that was.
That was who was it that runs without? Oh, Truex.
Yeah.
It's Truex.
Because they were like, well, it's an extra 9 pounds. Yeah, that matters.
It's an extra 9 pounds. So Truex
runs
AC or a cool suit.
That 9 pounds means you're not a corpse. Yeah, so,
but he did get the AC this week because it's the hottest race in history. So
yeah, too warm, and that really made the track accidents kind of all over the place.
It made the track really slippery, but like still you can't pass. So if they could just take Texas and put it in a different state, I don't think it would be a bad track because of the climate difference. But unfortunately, Texas has.
Yeah, just drive it up to Michigan. You can have another one up there.
Drop it in Michigan. Put Michigan in Texas.
That
would be a race. It's like California. It's like Auto Club, but hotter, yeah. So, any closing thoughts before we bid the World Wide Web farewell?
I wish there were more actual tracks in my side of the country, but
Portland,
That's how it goes.
Yeah, Portland Cup date, please. We need it. Steve
I think that'd be interesting.
Steve Phelps, if you're out there, we need a Portland Cup date. Enough of these long technical road courses. We need shorter ones. Portland needs a Cup date. Canadian Tire needs a Cup date. End of story.
Wasn't there like Evergreen that's up north?
Yeah, Evergreen is a dirt track, I believe, but it might be pavement though. You also have Lakeside, I think.
I would like. There's so much room on the east side of the Cascade Mountain Range for just like a bunch of just tracks.
They need to put like another Michigan clone like they did with Auto Club, and they just need to throw it in Washington.
If you're gonna have a West Coast like leg,
like a swing, yeah, get them further up north, because our West Coast swing right now is all in the South. We have Vegas, we have Phoenix, we have Auto Club, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean that's where keep in mind LA is huge, Vegas is huge, but like at the same time,
there are continue. Sorry.
Having your fans based across the country and being able to go to places that helps just the community and like racing in general.
Agree. And there are so many good racers have come out of the Pacific Northwest. It's not like there's not a racing community up there. We have seen several NASCAR champions come out of the Northwest. Greg Biffle, Mike Bliss. Biffle obviously came out of Vancouver, Washington. Mike Bliss came out of Oregon. And then, what's his name? Casey Kane came out of Enumclaw. And we also saw Herschel McGriff, ageless racer. The McGriff family, K&N Stars, they came out of the Oregon area. So. There's
a lot of motocross and like dirt bike and a lot of dirt racing in general up in the Northwest. And I'd like to go see the midget cars at some point. That'd be pretty cool.
I think they run wing sprints up at Evergreen, so we'll have to go sometime.
Yeah.
So
I've always thought they were kind of interesting, little goofy things.
Yeah.
Sounds horrendously dangerous, but
yeah, they are. That's how Alex Bowman broke his back earlier this year. Came down too hard in a sprint car and broke a vertebrae in his back.
At some point, I want to get out to Michigan and visit you and a couple other friends, but I'd like to do it on like a time where they're running Michigan or something like that.
August.
Cool. August, yeah.
It's either the first or second weekend in August, so yeah.
Maybe I'll look at it sometime next year.
Yeah, maybe I can come to you and we can do Portland again, and you can do me, and
just ride. Yeah, we can do each other, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Bust a little.
He does have a bomb in his ass, so.
Dude, I have a bomb in my ass. I have the Coca-Cola Y3000.
So, Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers seems like a great way to end this video.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see you next week after Talladega explodes all of our playoff drivers and ruins our brackets.
They're all gonna die.
Ta-ta.
Bye.